Welcome everybody. I don't think there's anybody here yet, but this is mainly going to be streamed for YouTube later. Right now we're going to do an analysis type thing of the Pathologic 3 demo, and the main thing that I want to sort of address with this is what do we know now about Daniel Dankowski?
Bachelor of Medicine.
We know who he is,
My research
but
into the
is
limits
this
of
game
human
gonna
life
tell us
brought me
anything new
renown.
about him? Sort of a
Devoted all my energy and
character
remarkable
analysis type
intellect
situation.
to combating the greatest fear that binds humanity. The inevitability
I
of
have already
imminent
watched
death.
people play this demo.
Seeking
so-
proof of my theories, I traveled to a small, steep town.
I like to think
Examine a person
that
of
I know what I'm
phenomenal
going to be
longevity.
doing. Hopefully,
Simon
we'll see.
Kane. But I walked into a trap. The moment I arrived there, an unknown disease struck the town. It devoured the town like a wildfire. Its contagion and lethality surpassed anything humanity had ever faced. And I became the only doctor standing in the way of this unprecedented pestilence.
I have left the English voices on. I have also listened to the original Russian, but for the sake of analysis, I think because I unfortunately don't speak Russian, we're going to have to have the English on so that we can hear those little lines that they say that aren't subtitled. So, stepping off the train. Some objects can be useful. I can spot them easily if I concentrate. Some thoughts will affect your mental state. See, that's interesting how the first line is told in first person from Dankowski, and then the second is told in second person to the player. Backwards, mindless, meaningless vandalism. Priceless medical texts gutted like fish. Worse than stealing morphine. Just empty destruction by illiterate punks. I do find it interesting how sort of poetic Dankowski's language is sometimes. Okay. Should we give this guy a voice to distinguish it from Dankowski, or... I say, a living, breathing person stepping off our train. I am going to have to apologise for my very dyslexic reading. I may struggle a little bit. Let's see. Do you normally only get dead people? We love how he's just sarcastic straight out the gate. Where did you come from? The capital. Daniel Dankowski, Bachelor of Medicine. I am told a supposed immortal man, Simon Kane, lives here. I have come to study him. Right. Do you city folks always take 20 trunks of shirts with you? Or did you manage to cut down to just 10, sir? He's sarcastic right back. We love this. Doesn't matter how many I took with me if they're getting stolen within the first minute. It's just kids being kids. No need to be mean to them. I'm wondering if I should actually be analysing the other lines of dialogue. Instead of just choosing one straight away. I don't know how interesting that's going to be for people. I must get my luggage back. Losing my instruments is like losing my arms. Worse than losing my arms. So he can be quite dramatic, you know, which I think actually is one of the first points that I sort of thought about when considering what I was going to say for this stream, is the fact that the expectation of Daniel is that he would be very sort of like methodical in a doctoral sense. Like, this is going to be so hard to explain. Like, you wouldn't expect a doctor to talk with such dramaticism, right? He's like, it would be worse than losing my arms. It's like pathos, right? He uses surprisingly emotive language. That's what I'm trying to say. And it doesn't fit with the sort of like prescriptive based language that you would expect of a character who is a doctor, at least for the most part. And I think that's interesting because it kind of leans into this whole mania and apathy side of things, which this game has brought in, which shows that, you know, he's more than just his profession, and he's very volatile emotionally, which, you know, it's unexpected of what you would see from him at first glance, I think. So yeah. I'm telling you, hands off the kids. You're new here, fresh off the train. You're new in town, so watch yourself and heed our customs. No constable or patrolman will chase after the children for you. No sweet streeping either. You're serious right now? Why not? Because the kids have their own thing going. Their own empire, see? I'm not going to mess with it, and if you find someone else to do it for you, it's your funeral. Or rather, theirs. Although they wouldn't get a funeral, Tower would simply break them. See, I don't fully understand what he meant by this. Is the implication that if a kid dies in the town, they get sent to the polyhedron? And that, like, disperses them into particles? Is that what they do? Oh, this was a line I wanted to talk about. I don't believe myself in corporal punishment, and obviously I'm not trying to get into a fight with 10-year-olds. Perhaps I could negotiate with them. So the use of myself in the sort of clause there, does that imply that he's saying, I don't personally like corporal punishment, but you do you? You know, is that the implication? Or is it distinguishing from I don't believe in corporal punishment as in I don't believe that it's a thing? So the myself is acknowledging that unfortunately it does happen, but I'm not a fan of it. Is that the implication? Like, I'm interested to see what he'll say about the polyhedron, actually. The polyhedron. I hope this accent isn't, like, annoying or offensive. I don't know, I just thought... He has a moustache, I don't know, it feels like he would sound like an NPC from Final Fantasy 16 or something like that, I don't know. Well, that surely clears it up. You know what? If you need your shirt so badly, why don't you just go looking for the tots that ran away with them? Just ask them nicely. These kids are like magpies. They'll trade your precious linens. They'll trade your precious linens from the capital back in exchange for bits of coloured glass, or even just a story. But whatever you do, don't hurt them. See, this is funny. I have plenty of stories to tell, but they usually involve vivisections. I suppose kids do like that sort of thing. Like, what kids has he been talking to that like that sort of thing? Like, I know some kids are, like, into gory stuff just, like, for the sake of it, you know? They like being edgy about it, but, like, I don't know. That's so funny to me. I think Daniel does have an interesting interaction with kids. Like, sometimes he can be surprisingly nice to them, and then other times he's just like, oh, you little shits, you know? So, yeah, I think that's interesting. Right. 2. Is the capital a real place? In a sense, of course, the capital is a myth, and that myth is the real capital. But the city does exist physically. So, what's he saying there, then? So, like, the capital isn't all that it's cracked up to be, or the capital's image is different from how it physically sort of feels to be there, something like that. But also, this feels very poetic as well, like it's another one of his sort of surprisingly emotive language moments. Well, I guess it's not all that emotive, it's more fantastical than you would expect from him straight out the gate, you know? I don't know, I think there's something about it. The keychains come from the capital and made our town, but no other real people have come from there ever since. So I was thinking, perhaps Simon Kane simply made up the capital along with everything else. In a small town like yours, a single individual's authority can grow to be all-encompassing. I assure you, though, Kane did not make up the capital. So this is interesting. Like, how many small towns has Daniel visited, like, to the extent where he would know the way that an individual's authority can be all-encompassing? Like, or is he just saying that, like, based on assumption, you know? Okay. Reasoning. Sometimes I need to take a step back from the moment and think logically through something. It helps me put the pieces together. Are we supposed to read all of it? Like, we just select one, but they're all very much the same sort of thought. How am I supposed to do research without my tools? Do we just read them all and then select one? Like, I really don't know. I've seen a lot of people, you know, play this mechanic, and yet I don't fully understand what the sort of purpose of it is. Like, why do we select one of dialogue which is supposedly or presumably meant to be just, like, read in order? Does it affect the apathy or mania or anything? I guess we'll find out when the full game comes out. Maybe we'll see the implications of it. I have to handle this myself. The most important thing is the microscope and the experimental prototype. Let's have a look at the mind map. Simon Kane, an alleged immortal, lives in this town. Understanding him is the only way to save my Thanatica. Are you chasing shadows again, Denkovsky? Shadows again? Don't know why I had so much time trouble. Jesus Christ. Trouble pronouncing. See, this is what I mean by my very dyslexic reading. I am sorry. That's another thing. Dankovsky, he refers to himself by his surname. Is that weird? Like, what does it mean that he thinks of himself more as a Dankovsky than a Daniil? I do find this sort of mind map representation of things interesting. I wonder how it's going to compare sort of like in long-term gameplay to the sort of more menu-based representation of things in the original. Such a serene place here, he says. You can tell it's day one. Locals treat children with a strange deference. I'll have to catch the thieves myself. New shoes, may I introduce you to Station Mud? That's interesting. Like, did he buy the new shoes specifically to come here, or did he buy the new shoes just, like, recently in general, and he's wearing them today? Oh, yep, that makes the mania happen. So, oh, don't want to have that go up too fast, but I do want to see what this text is. Lithium split open, magnesium split open, bromide split open. I wonder why he bought those three specifically, because lithium and bromide are used a lot in like medication for bipolar, which I think could be a reference to this whole apathy and mania situation. You know, I was talking with a few people about this recently and about how direct of a reference to bipolar the apathy and mania mechanic is, and whether or not it's like a good and sensitive way to represent it or not. I feel like, I guess most cases of bipolar, obviously you can have rapid fluctuations in some cases, but a lot of the time it's more sort of like a gradual change between apathy and mania, if that's how you want to, you know, refer to it as. I don't know, I guess everybody's case is going to be different, and this is just how Daniel's works, but also there might be something to be said about gamifying a mental illness or a neurodivergence. Like, what are the implications of that? Is it good or bad? I don't know, I'm not the authority on that sort of thing, but something to think about. Should we give him like a Cockney voice or something like that? Hey, eyes on us, the thief's seen us, the thief! Mr. Thief, are you for real? Say something in thief speak. This feels like more accurate for pretentious Mr. Dankovsky. Furfuranum cognoscit. The Latins never minded taking what was not theirs. Is that true? What does that mean? Thief! Thief! You stole the train's art, you did. Just ripped it out and stole it. And now it'll die without our art. It's a terrible voice. I'm so sorry. Many creatures in this world live perfectly well without hearts. A train, I believe, would belong to the order Crassicillatilla worms. They don't need hearts. See, that's interesting. I didn't know worms didn't have hearts. But also, that's a very interesting, like, thing for Dankovsky to say. Like, it's a reference to his love of bugs and stuff, which I think is so sweet. Like, the fact that he used to collect them and stuff. Are you stupid, mister? Worms don't look like that at all. They have arms and legs and a forehead. And two hearts. One in his chest and one in his wife's. So, I guess that's, like, about the things that they call worms that live in this town. I forget what they're called. We'll see one in a bit. Worms don't have wives. Ha ha ha, you're not just a thief but a dabby too. If worms don't have wives, then who does the dances? Who makes grass grow? You think it grows by itself? Ha ha. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Listen boy, enough jokes for today. I've come to this town on important business which I cannot conduct without my microscope and my prototype. Please return them to me. Hey, hold on. No need for all the begging and the politeness. What did I ever do to you, anyway? I didn't take nothing. It was all Jechka. I hope that's how you pronounce it. That's how I've heard people pronounce it. It seems... I don't know, surely it would be Yechka? But maybe that's me thinking based on other language pronunciations, I don't know. My microscope and my prototype are precise, delicate instruments. If they break, they'll only be scrap metal and glass. They'll just die, like the train. You don't want that, do you? I don't. Then tell me where Judgka's taken them. Just taken the heart back to go fix the train. That way, to its face. Am I a snitch now, Mr. Thief? See, this is interesting. You'd fit right in at the academy, just like Tellman. Was that a guy who snitched on Dankovsky's work? Was he telling the academy about the fact that Dankovsky was doing all this research into life and death and that it was considered sort of like heretical in some way, perhaps? No, a snitch is someone who runs off to inform without being asked to. You're an honest witness. Okay. Let's go see Judgka then. Oh god, this means we're going to have to come up with 3 more kid voices. Okay, cool, very nice. Pardon me. Hopefully we're not too manic that they won't speak to us. I know that can happen. See, my instinct is just to do the same voice for this kid that I did for the other one. I don't have that many voices. Hey, back off you! Get away from the girls, and from me too. I ain't afraid of Uncle Rowan when he boozes up, and I ain't afraid of you neither. I've got a knife. You can't hurt us, got it? My nerves are hanging by a thread this thin. Do you want to see what will happen when it finally snaps? Straight off the train, and he's just intimidating kids straight away. I love that. Okay. Your hands are shaking and you got those crazy eyes. Uncle Rowan gets those too when he reaches for a second bottle, and they're shaking, and then he starts a fight. But don't even think of starting trouble with me. I've got a real knife, I do. Wait, hold on. If I look like that Uncle Rowan of yours, that means I really do need to cool down first. Give me a moment, I'll take a breather. So it's interesting how sort of like aware he can be of his state even when it is heading towards mania, you know, he's able to sort of recognise that that's what's happening, which is interesting. It's hard for me to talk to people when I'm too apathetic or manic. I'll need to stabilise my condition first. Head swing. My state of mind can be changed with drugs. Some make me more apathetic, others more manic. I need to keep an eye on my mental state and my supply of drugs. So that's also interesting, you know, a doctor constantly taking drugs. I can't remember what point I was making on it, but it's, you know, it feels counterintuitive, and yet that's what he does, and it's understandable because presumably this is set in a time before there's, you know, research into bipolar medication and other sort of mood stabilizing things, you know, assuming we're in like what, the 20s based on what people have said. Although I'm always very suspicious about that, you know, people are like it's in the 20s or the 30s or something, but there's clearly, you know, items that don't fit either before or after, so it's a very sort of nebulous time period, which I think, to be fair, works well with the new sort of like time-based travelling mechanic. You know, maybe things have swapped around before with other people time travelling and whatnot. I guess we're just supposed to like have a level of like suspension of disbelief and not think about it too much, which is fine. So valerian extract, maybe that's a good one to take for reducing mania, I would think. Oh, yep.
Why would it matter?
Why would it matter, he says. Is that enough, or... Okay. See, how can we do different voices without just doing the same ones? Because all these kids seem like they should speak like, yeah, it's quiet, it's dead already, you know, like, I can't do that for... Should we just do, like, different volumes or different pitches. Like, what if this one goes like, no, it's quiet, it's dead already. Should we do that? That would be kind of funny, wouldn't it? Maybe.
A dead heart keeps beating for 40 days. That's what my mum says. It couldn't have been dead that long. Do it, tack it on.
It won't fit in there, it just won't. Oh my god. Okay. Told you we should have stick it in the belly, not the mouth. Life's in the belly, everyone knows that. This is ridiculous.
Nope, a locomotive's heart, life, fuck,
Jesus Christ. What accent is this? What voice is this?
A locomotive's life sits in the front with the driver. That's where the fire is, so the heart should be too. That's what Boulder told me.
You're jet correct. You're correct. A train's life is in its locomotion, which is housed in the front.
Ah! Begone, vile snake!
You killed the other trains, didn't you? It's 'cause of you that they don't come to us no more. What voice did I give this guy? Just the normal one?
And we're wondering, we don't know why they keep dying. We got a whole graveyard. They're rusted up and they don't go anywhere. And it's all because of you! You stole the trains out for yourself and carried it away in a suitcase, and now the trains are all dead.
This frustrates me so much. Like, why would they think that he was the one that did it? Like, I know they're just kids, but surely, like, any semblance of logic would, you know, make them realise that it wasn't, like, if anyone had stolen the train's hearts, if that was the case, that they had hearts, like, why would they think Dankovsky, the guy that they've only just now seen, was the guy that did it when trains were previously coming up, you know, quote unquote dead? Exactly, he says it right here. If the train stopped coming a long time ago, then it can't be my fault. I've never been here before. And I'm not very good at stealing hearts. Poor Dankovsky. I can imagine Aspity hearing that and just being like, "Ha! You're not. You're a lonely, sad man." That's such a Aspity thing to say. Her attitude is just so funny to me.
That's true. I've never seen him here before. So he steals hearts from the future, then? You steal hearts from the future, mister?
What gave you the idea that my prototype is the train's heart?
Well, it's made from iron, isn't it? And it's round.
And if I tinker with it, it ticks. Oh, I'm so sorry.
That means it's a heart, a train's heart.
Oh, my damn prototype, which you're going to break any minute now.
Without it, the trains stop wailing. Stop moving too. That means it's dead. So it is its heart. Obvious, right?
Look, they're made of different metals.
Well, you know, a man doesn't look very shiny on the outside either. Inside is all red.
No, he's right. The body has different layers. But all the meat is made of meat. That's what Grandpa Burrock said. Look, my prototype is not the train's heart, and I certainly won't repair it. But it's an interesting thing in itself, so let's make a deal. You give it back and I'll show you how it works.
I don't know.
There'll be corpses in the tail. A whole pile of them.
These corpses, were they stabbed or strangled? The kin must never cut, they only strangle. So if they were stabbed, kin didn't do it.
Look here. Let me take the prototype. I won't run away, I promise. To wind it up, you need to turn this handle clockwise. And then obviously we flash back to the capital. 2 weeks ago to this guy. I love this guy's face, he's so like gnome looking. May as well do this now because we need them in a sec anyway. Having the take all button is so much more efficient. Okay, what voice do we give this guy? What's his name? Platon? 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 How do you pronounce that? Oh, shit, sorry. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I just whacked the microphone with my teacup. I'm so sorry. Very unprofessional. Okay. To prime it, hold this crank and turn it clockwise. Chief? Hello? Oh, for crying out loud, your mind's flown away again. Prime the what now? The morgue is swimming in a gas leak from Lab 102. I heard the alarm. That's right, I pulled the alarm because of the chlorine from Lab 102. Anyway, the crank is stiff, so you'll have to turn it with some force. Clayton, are you crazy? There's a gas leak. What did you call me in here for? We have to seal the morgue and evacuate quickly. No, Daniel. What we have to do is load the prototype you're fiddling with, and use it to get into the morgue. A woman who rose from the dead is in there, and it will be, I think you'll agree, extremely frustrating if she dies again. We must get her out. Risen from the dead? I was collecting tissue samples to determine the onset of rigor mortis when I heard a noise. I turned around and holy smokes! A woman was sitting on the gurney, stiff as a poker, rasping her throat. I started towards her, but then I smelled gas and pulled the alarm lever. So this line, these cases always turn out to be lethargy or catatonia or apnea. I guess it goes to show like how many times they've had like false alarms with this kind of stuff, perhaps. Like, you know, Daniel has been dedicating his whole life to trying to find examples of immortality or revival and that sort of thing. And yet, it sounds like every single one so far has been, you know, just a case of, like, other medical things in which, like, somebody has seemed dead and turned out not to be, you know. Yeah, and this sort of thing, you know, perhaps it irritated her mucous membranes enough to wake her, like, that sort of thing. Like, it's always caused by something else and it's not actually immortality, and he's clearly sort of getting sick of having all these, like, false alarms. Chief, you're breathing another one of your chains of hypotheticals. We need practical observations. Pull out the patient, then write the monograph. Not the other way around. You're right. Tell me what I should do with this device. This prototype, I think you called it. I already told you, but fine. Let's go over it again. You're holding an experimental prototype meant to dissipate tuberculosis miasma. Remember the consumption task force? Kaufman, Grosky, Anna Stein? Of course I remember. In the wake of Bajan, they were commissioned to make a device to dissipate miasma, but I believe this was meant for something other than tuberculosis. This magnificent gizmo disperses an aerosol of disinfectant. First, you load the prototype. There's bottles of solution in the beige cabinet. Best set it on the table while you load it. You can't do it while you're holding it. I load it, then what? Oh, actually, that mention of mustard gas. Presumably that slightly helps define the time period a little bit, because mustard gas, I don't remember exactly when it was invented, but it was like relatively recently to when this is in, you know, it wasn't around hugely before World War One, I want to say. Next, you wind the prototype up. To prime it, hold its crank and turn it clockwise. This Anna Stein isn't just a medic, she's a natural-born mechanical engineer. What an ingenious device. Yeah, let's say something nice about women for once, Stankowski. Well, Joski assembled it. Anna took charge of optimizing the chemical composition. Either way, they're a talented team, and the military likes them. And then I just released the contents into the gas. Correct. Wind this crank, then release. The gas should dissipate theoretically. Wind, release, dissipate. Wind, fuck. Repeat until you reach our resurrectee. Just to remember, the chlorine will keep coming up while our supply of solution is finite. Just try to be as efficient as possible, Chief. See, this is interesting. A true thanatologist ought to step into death every now and then. Like, he likes this idea now, but after 12 days of having to constantly deal with this shit in the town, I think he'll change his tune. Pneumatics of mechanical priming. The longer I hold the crank, the stronger the effect. Clears the miasma in front of it. Operating range is supposed to be decent. One load is good for 20 uses. Need to spend fluid wisely. The morgue corridors is like a maze. Shouldn't that be like a maze? I guess this is a demo, you know, we can't be all up in the translation already. To load the prototype I need a stimulant, anesthetic, and a toxin. Required ingredients are readily available, at least in the Institute. They should be here in those beige cabinets. The first thing we teach the lab assistants, the best stuff is in the beige cabinets. Is that just for experiments, or... Add the ingredients one by one into the setup and heat it up. Heat, then open the valves. Evaporate, full stop. Residue goes into the prototype. Should be enough for 20 uses. Load the prototype. Before you can load the prototype, you need to before you can use the prototype, you need to load it. The ingredients are in the cabinet. The loading station is on the table. Okay. Well, we already got the materials. Disinfectant, stimulant, yeah. Does anything happen in real life if you mix stuff like this? Probably not. Okay, let's see if this... Oh! Hold down to charge, release when the pendulum stops. Oh yeah, okay. I like how it... Oh! No, we're fine, okay. I like how it tells you on screen how many you have left. This is also like very easy to control, so that's good. For some reason, when I was watching people play this as like Let's Plays, I was concerned about how this would control using, you know, keyboard and mouse mechanics, because I'm more used to games on consoles. But yeah, no, this is easy and well designed, I think. So, is this Grace? Did we ever establish whether or not this is Grace? Because, you know, when watching people play this before, everyone was like, oh, this is Grace. So, is it? Like, did we ever figure out... Oh, God, nearly knocked something over. Anyway. Gah! Are you... Death? You have Death's eyes. See, that's interesting, isn't it? Like, Dankovsky has Death's eyes. That's quite badass, isn't it? I don't know. I have the eyes of a man who's just walked through 40 meters of poisonous gas without protective goggles. At the end of the tunnel, there's a second tunnel. That's the energy of that meme that's like, my father, he had a father. Can you hear me? Focus on me. Hold on to my voice. Try to stay awake. And then we cut back to this. At the end of the tunnel, there's a second tunnel. What does that mean? It means when you die, there's neither life nor death, but something else entirely. See, it's interesting for Dankovsky to believe in that, especially having said later on in the original, at least, that he doesn't believe in like mysticism or anything. So is that the same as not believing in heaven or hell or any kind of afterlife? You know, does that suggest that he does in fact believe in something else after death, or is he just saying that to like make the story interesting for the kids? Like a coin falling on its edge. Or a Mobius strip. You shouldn't concern yourself with such things, though. Can I have my prototype back? Take it. It spins all boring, clockwise only. Grandpa Simon has clocks that spin every which way. Besides, the train's already dead. Couldn't save it in time. It's kind of sweet how he can say, like, look, there's still, you know, hope. You know, it's like he's trying to, like, make the kids not be upset. I'm sick of this game. Go away. We're going to play cat in the old hat. We still have time before the sun sets. Wait, what about my microscope? I'll trade you another tail for it. We didn't take your microscope. I didn't expect you to know that word. Even some people in the capital don't know it. We don't know it. We just know we didn't take anything else, just the train's art. Where is it then? If the prototype is my right hand, the microscope is my left. I can't collect data without it. The dogheads must have taken it. Khan and Noctin got a deal. All the war spoils get split down the middle. They don't care about the arts. Not in any of their many faces. Why would they need another one? What does your microscope do? Is it alive? A microscope is a metallic pipe fitted with mirrors. You use it to look at small objects and it makes them large and detailed. Oh, a kaleidoscope! To look at the colourful down! Can you do it like Capella? A cappella? I'm not much of a singer. Do you know the word kaleidoscope? Oh, and defenestration! Defenestration? Mr. Marek used it when old foreman Owen threw Uncle Rowan out a window. Oh, this poor kid, he has such a, hectic home life. Can we adopt him? So as it stands, you passed my belongings along to some other gang, and I'll need to barter to get them back, am I right?
Khan must have given it to Capella as a gift. Are you stupid after what happened to that stained glass? No, Khan wouldn't have given it to her. If it's something that changes things when you look through them, he must have given it to Grandpa Simon. Grandpa Simon loves things like that. Khan wouldn't have given it to anyone. Not before he looks at himself. Or after either. But he's honest, even if he's wicked. He'd give it back to the owner. If you find him, he'll deal fair. Well, if they brought your micro kaleidoscope into the polyhedron, you won't see it again. No use looking there. Try the stairways to heaven. The dogheads like 'em. Think they look like the polyhedron. There's one right there in the moor. So that's an interesting thing about, the town is, it's shaped like a bull, like the animal, and all the different parts of the town are named after, the different parts of the bull, obviously, the districts. So the moor, obviously being a mouth, and so on. It's a very, interesting way to, design a town, I guess, in a world-building sense. And the way that kind of continues into a metaphor of the town being sort of like a living, breathing thing. It's interesting. Thank you. The second tool was stolen by a different gang of children. I'll have to search the town for it. Not the guided tour I hoped for. See, I just love Daniel's constant sarcasm. It's brilliant. This was the worm guy that I was talking about. Ordung, that's what they are. Any baby sheep. Any baby sheep. What an interesting mask you have. Go away, Snake Man. You've got sharp heels. What's with your face? You can't just say that, Dankowski. Looks more like a congenital disease than an injury. We are worms. We live in the earth. Cattle we herd, herbs we gather, injuries we inflict. Worms? I see the resemblance. It's so funny the way he can just turn up in town and immediately be an asshole to people. I've heard of an elephant man. Is this the worm man then? I've only seen such poor disfigured creatures in an anatomical theatre. In an anatomical theatre. That's hard to say even if you're not dyslexic. So the way Daniel's reaction to seeing a herb bride for the first time. Holy mother of smokes! Oh my god. I'm surprised that doesn't affect mania or anything. Jacob Sturck, Kirk, and what was his name? Bertrand. Such a harmless fellow he was. Never hurt a fly in his life. And the Ripper slashed him to ribbons like the rest of them anyway. The brute. We must give these poor unfortunate souls the proper burial they deserve. Then find the Ripper and then give him a burial befitting a beast. What voice do we give the herb bride? Kuleke kunud. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. At least it's in a real language, right? So I'm not butchering it in a way that would be as offensive as if it was real, right? I hope. Oh god, I'm sorry. Do not act rashly. Give Kirik to me. I'll pay you back in kind, in herbs and blood. I don't mean to alarm you, but you have holes in your dress the size of another dress. I love that line. It's so, is it offensive to say that to someone? It's hilarious. And I feel like if I was wearing a dress like that, not that I personally would, but if I was, and someone said that to me, I would find that very funny. But, is it misogynistic or something to say something like that? But it is very funny, so... Are you crazy? Why are you looking at her? Why are you even speaking to her? Begone, witch!
It's not very nice.
Bunyate, don't speak to me, stranger. I have come begging for food to give Sok, begging for tears to give Mother Bodo. I speak to the blood of Udog. Not sure how you pronounce it. Of our town.
You are not our blood. My eyes do not see you, stranger. My eyes do not hear you. Before you ask, no, I don't write down new and unfamiliar words. I have an excellent memory. Is he just trying to do a flex? Is that what the implication of that line is? That he's just trying to do a flex to, I don't know, impress the herb bride or something? Oh my god. What happened here? The Rippers come to town. The father killer, Burak. He was always a wild one, but then that Mara Shabnak lay with him in the steppe and whispered things in his ear to make him water the earth with blood. As soon as he got off the train, he went on a murder spree. He killed Jacob Sturk, killed Kirik, and killed the armless Bertie. He's a monster. I've realised I've changed the voice that I gave him. I think I made him northern on his first line, and now he's got the same voice as that kid that I... Apparently I can only do 3 voices. I thought I had come alone, or almost alone, but I definitely don't recall the Mad Ripper on the train with me. He arrived on the freight train, took the back door, like a thief in the night. That freight train was bringing medicines, sweets, and coffins, so the Ripper must have hidden away in a coffin, or else Shabnak would have torn him apart in the steppe. You said that Shabnak copulated with him. They banged. Oh my god. But now he's hiding from her in a coffin. Only 2 sentences into this conversation and I already want to shoot myself. See, he's so casual about talking about wanting to shoot himself, and the fact that he specifically has a gun with him, you know, in case he feels that he wants to do just that. You know, it's almost like gallows humour. Ryutanu, hear me out. Mother of Udak, Sorg sings of a fierceness, a sharpness inside the one you call Kirik. Give his body to me. He's dead to you anyway. You will bury him and he will rot away until nothing is left. I will bury him and Sunok will eat him and drink his fierceness and his sharpness and sing an Ubene Dun, a herb song in gratitude. She'll give us twire and we'll brew lots of twirine. She will give us ashen swish, the harshest of the herbs. Big Kalemen. Ashen swish is a cruel herb, a bad herb. It thrives on blood and spite. Suok sings that we will need plenty of swish soon. Yours is a burial into emptiness, but mine will be a burial into Suok's womb. I am at your feet, Hayan Kunud. Good people, give me the one you call Kirik. Should we give her the body, maybe? He didn't seem to have any family, and without him in the picture, I guess it doesn't matter if we bury him or the kin do. Who knows, suppose we do get a good crop of twire. See, Daniel saying, you know, he's under the impression that who buries who is actually quite important in traditional cultures. Like, does he not know, like, is he not reading the room of what's going on here? Like, she's offered to bury him, you know, for the herbs or whatever. Like, I don't know. It feels like he just didn't, like, listen to anything that was happening in this conversation. I don't know. A corpse is used as fertiliser often around these parts. But they aren't just going to use him. They'll desecrate him until not even a Shabnak can recognise what's left. And that's what you're going to do, isn't it? Isn't it, step-girl? Say it. And don't you dare try to lie to us. I am at your feet, Hayan Kunud. Good people, I promise there will be no desecration. We will take his name so it holds sharpness no longer, and we will lower him into the Sorog's womb. Everyone will forget him, forget the wicked murderer Kirik, and only Ashen Swish will remain. I knew there was a catch. Wicked or not, you can't just bury a person without their name. Everyone has a right to a memory, if nothing else. But he really was a wicked man. The rare time someone remembers him at all, they're not going to have anything good to say. Perhaps it's for the best if everyone forgets him. The way he's like, it's a shame I'm not an anthropologist. Like, he's so interested in so many different, like, I know it's like sarcasm partly, but like the way Dankovsky has so many interests in so many realms of science is just brilliant, and I love him. He's a little shit, but I love him. They'll take the name of this Kirik. What does that mean? A touch of our eyes, a touch of our fingers, and the name melts away. The one who they used to call Kirik will become a gift to Sorok instead. He will have no grave, and there will be no man in the memory of these people. Speak to me no more, stranger. Your words are poison. See, I don't fully understand why she says that. Also, like, what is... He's just asking questions, like... I must admit that clarified nothing. Let's head over to the body. I'd rather avoid falling out with the kin. No, let's hand over the body. It will only lead to more trouble down the line. What do you think, stranger? You look important. Maybe you have some brains too. See, this is like, it starts with a good point about keeping someone for forensic examination, which obviously is like a benefit to science. But then he has to say, even if a beautiful young woman asks otherwise, you know, it's just like, he can't make a valid point without also being misogynistic. But then this, you know, you could argue this one is also true in the sense that, like, you know, what is a body if not just like collection of moleculars and tissues and molecules and blah blah blah. That is also true. I guess, like, whichever one we choose, it's not going to have an effect on anything else in the demo, because from what I've seen, there's no like repercussions to this conversation, so we may as well say we don't care either way. Death came to this town today, such great death, the likes of which has never been seen before. Today will be a fearsome day, tomorrow even more so, and on the third day, fear itself will die, and without ash and swish, we will die too. The way he can say, I came to this town today, that's all that matters. Like, he's such a freaking egotist. Oh my god. Yeah, just say they're making him uneasy. Is there anything else that can be said about all of this? Gorkas. Corpses always attract the same kind of swarm. Golem of bones. Or golem? I think it's golem. Yep. Luckily I'm prepared to fight death in all its guises. He thinks he's so badass going in, doesn't he? Hey, it's bad grief. The locals believe in a shabnak, a murderous step golem in the guise of a woman. It's like I've stepped out of time, not just travelled far from home.
Yeah?
Oh, that's interesting. I guess, yeah, can be understood in any language, but I wonder if that's his Russian voice or his English voice. Saying, yeah, you know. People always give bad grief a sort of southern accent, don't they? Not sure I can do one of those. Would you look at that? A customer. Keep walking, customer. This shop's appointment only, and I don't recall your name on the list. From a distance, they looked just like coffins. Fashionista. What did? I saw something with a face. I'm not sure of anything right now. Yeah, it's called People, Daniel. It looked like a giant bird was nesting on the train. Birdies, birdies, gather ye here, around the marble nest. I can't recall where that quote is from. See, like, why is he saying that? What bird is it? Like, so Marble Nest was the, that one, like, demo short game thing they released a while ago, like, quite a long time ago now. But, like, when did he see a giant bird? Was that... I don't know. That's quite the bird indeed. Small in stature, but great in spirit. Hell, I like you. You're lucky he likes you. He's a handy acquaintance. We've got plenty of shops in town, but the warehouse keeper here can get it for you wholesale. Just look at the boots he snagged. Scarlet! They're pretty. Are they from the capital? It's kind of sweet that he refers to things as pretty. Like, I mean, I don't know if he ever calls anything else pretty, but, like, I don't know, it feels rare nowadays to hear a man use pretty as an adjective. Yeah. From a coffin? A coffin's the best place when you need a chest. A checkpoint guard won't dare open up out of respect. It's inhumane. Meanwhile, it's overflowing with 100 pairs of scarlet Safino leather boots, tax and duty free. This isn't even a southern accent that I'm doing, is it? I don't know what it is. See, so he can say previously that they're pretty and then go to say they're bog standard military boots that have been tied wrong. Like, the flip-flopping, what's with that? Well, I guess they're boots, not flip-flops, but, you know. Yeah, that feels like a very Dankovsky line. There's no good shying away from death. One can't understand a thing if they refuse to look at it. Refuse? They do refuse. That's what I use. A coffin's an honest thief's best friend. People looking away is how business gets done. You a tax inspector? I can't imagine a duller job.
Keep your nose out of other people's coffins, then. Once someone goes in, who knows what happens? Maybe they never died. Maybe they never existed. Never ever? Jesus Christ. Maybe they never existed at all. I like how Bad Grief is, like, surprisingly poetic sometimes for, like, such a sort of, like, cutthroat type character. You know what I mean? I guess pretty much everyone in the town is, like, to some extent sort of, like, flouncy in their language, because it sort of emphasizes how weird the place is, right? But, like, I don't know, it's just fun coming from a guy like him. Indeed, no one knows what happens once they go into a coffin, but I intend to find out. It's just interesting how they just leave the conversation at that. Like, there's no Bad Grief going, what the hell does that mean? You know? Oh. Oh. The mind is affected by E interactions with specific objects. They are easy to spot if you enter Q concentration mode. We've already had that, haven't we? Oh no! I forgot kicking a dumpster causes mania. That's so funny. I find that very sweet. Like, imagine just like you're a normal person who lives here walking around the town and you see some guy. Oh.
Every creak like a gunshot.
Every creak like a gunshot. It was so damn dramatic. But yeah, just imagine you're walking around the town just like you live here and it's normal, and you just see this like dandy man doctor just like kicking stuff and messing around and like causing problems, and you're just like, what the hell is he doing? And he's going round and like he seems annoyed at every like,
as if things are animated.
As if things are animated. Oh my god. Yeah, he's just like kicking the bins and the pushing the swings but not going on them, and complaining that they make noise when he kicks them. It's so funny. What are we doing here? Is there a way out or around, or... Oh, it's a little, what are those mice called? Jibber-jabber? Something like that? So cute. Can we interact with any of these people? Hey guys, how's it going? What's up guys, it's your boy Daniel. Such beautiful movements. Calm down, Dankowski, Jesus. I'd like to study them. So this bloating is a common condition here? Truly astonishing phenomena can still be found in remote corners of our country. So I know there's this whole conversation you can have with the herb brides about the bull that's going to be sacrificed, but like, I don't know, if I do that, that means I've got to think of like several different herb bride voices. But I guess it would be kind of a disservice to the point of this video if I didn't like study all the interactions. That makes me sound so damn pretentious, Jesus Christ. Boo-ha, my good little bull. Blunt mouth, broad-browed. His eyebrows. Please forgive us. You're silly, Eze. You always have been. He's returning to Turok, to Bodo. We're leading him into the bosom of his mother and father. Why are you asking him for forgiveness? Because Boss Turok is dead, Aina. This little bull's whole life he didn't know that the most beautiful creature, the immortal Boss Turok, was waiting for him. And now that he knows, Boss Turok is dead. Buha will find his father's silent corpse.
How can we not pity him? I thought there was some kind of festival happening in town, but you're just talking about death. Wouldn't Daniel be happy to have people talking about death? Isn't that his whole deal? It's a funeral. Kurari Kun Bosturok, the father of all Kantage people, and the bulls, has died. We ask Surok to bring him back. You're the silly one, Aina. Surok didn't eat Bosturok. How could she? She's bigger than her, stronger than her. He is. Jesus Christ. The immortal can't be killed. He chooses death himself. We ask Bosturok to change his mind and come back to us, his children. Of course, Dankovsky's got to bring in his, animal facts. Well, actually... Nerd emoji. Well, actually, some animals like lobsters don't undergo natural aging and death. They can still be killed by external forces. Bosturok is not an animal. I forgot all the different voices we gave them already. Bosturok is the father of all Antage. I'm never going to get that right, I'm so sorry. People and bulls. Oh, how can I explain? We heard brides walk barefoot so that we can always hear his heart. Tonight it stopped beating. The children are afraid without their father, so we ask him to respond, but I fear he has died. A fang or a claw was thrust into him. I feel the wound bleeding. Rust has soaked into him. I feel the rot squelching underfoot. Ugh. Quiet, both of you. You know nothing. Bosturok can die only from gloom. We will cheer him up, feed him, and show him our joy. We will bring him the last aurochs to his bosom. Then he will remember us and return to us. Maybe he felt the aftershocks of an earthquake that sometimes occur in the northeast. Just like Daniel desperately trying to explain away this stuff. So the secret to immortality was just smile and put aside your sorrow. I feel like Daniel might have trouble doing that. if that's the true answer to immortality. He's just gonna find out that that's what it is and he'll be like, God damn it, now I have to learn how to be happy. Joy is life, Kari-kun. Laugh at funerals, dance when it hurts. Death is a second name for sorrow. I mean, they do say laughter is the best medicine, so you know. Mother Bodo is a blind, loving mother. The warmth of the earth. But Bosturok not only bore us, he watched over us. We lived under his watch. Now the town is without a beholder. Azagalag Kun. We are all blind worms now. Mooga bad. A worm is a worm. A human is a human. A human is meant to see, to build. Look around, beholder. What do you see? You can just say you. That's so intimidating. I mean, that's probably not how he means it. He's probably attempting to flirt, maybe. It's like, I see you. But that's so it's probably not how he intends it, but it comes across as so lecherous to say it like that, you know? I don't know, maybe that's just me putting tone on it mentally, whether it actually isn't any, I don't know. A town where the live sacrifice of animals is where the sacrifice of live animals is permitted in a residential area. You haven't looked closely. Go further. See our celebration. Look at the last aurochs. What did you see in all of this? Tell Ugar afterwards. Yeah, see, well, at least it's pleasant to look at your girls. So, I love you, Dankovsky, but can you not be a misogynist for 10 minutes? How could I forget Ugar? Oh, I forgot about those jump scares. So this is yeah. Wait, is this one still? Yeah, that one's still alive. So then this is a different bull that's been sacrificed just now. That's crazy. Poor thing. You know, apart from all the death and stuff, the town looks so much more colourful than it did in any of the previous iterations. We've got these lovely banners right here, bunting, Such cute little designs. Oh, I love this. It's very like cozy autumnal. My eyes touch you, beholder. I'd rather they didn't. It's plausible anatomically speaking, but physiologically, I expect at least a decade of trauma. Behold as I hurry off to find my microscope. The sarcasm. I love you, Dankowski. Oh, yeah, forgot that happens. Just casually hallucinating, don't mind me. Oh, yep, these guys too, yeah. What's going on, guys? I've always really liked these archways in every iteration of the game. They're very, like, I don't know, just structurally interesting. Hey, we got Mark Immortal. What up?
It is canny to conceal that one is uncanny.
What voice did he have just then? He had like a British accent, didn't he?
Ah, there you are, finally. I thought you'd forgotten our agreement. I hope you're ready. Have you memorized your lines?
Of course I did. I always have 2 or 3 lines ready in my mind, and I choose one before responding. I love how meta that is. It's like he's subconsciously aware that he is in fact in a game. Oh, that's so funny. I don't have time to read any lines. I'm trying to get my microscope back. Have you seen any kids conspicuously carrying luggage? I take no joy in seeing another player who likes to improvise. Your charge is but to read the lines, not invent them.
Wait, is this really the guy? Looks about the same, but the outfit's all wrong. Did our guy wear a coat? This costume is more suited to an antagonist.
That's just what birds sound like, apparently, in my head. This is the latest fashion in the capital, I'll have you know. The fact that Daniel slightly cares about fashion is, like, really fun to me. Like, he's such, like, dapper dandy, and I just love that. We need more, like, fashionable guys in media. Also, just fashion advice from a man in a bird suit. Looked in a mirror recently. I'm more of an anti-hero than an antagonist. I presume you know the difference?
That makes you an ideal candidate for our anti-production. I am Mark Immortal, director of the local theatre, and you are?
Daniel Dankowski, doctor, just arrived from the capital.
Magnifico! You see, the actor we've been waiting an eternity for. Eternity? Jesus Christ, what kind of talk? Has decided to stabahage? Has decided to stabahage the rehearsal.
Oh my god, can I read, please?
You would do us a massive, titanic favour by replacing him, even if just for a little while.
See, this is so sweet. Of course I'd be delighted to. I've dreamed of acting on stage since I was a boy. What must I do? See, like, is that true? Like, wouldn't that be so sweet if Daniel, like, wanted to be an actor? But it's interesting because in, I think it was one of the other demos, he said he wanted to be a soldier. And I mean, like, I know kids can have more than one dream, but, like, did one have more prevalence over the other? And because his wanting to be a soldier was probably only as, like, a response to the war that was happening at the time, you know? Like, his father was probably drafted, so he wanted to, like, be like his father, like, in the way that a lot of kids do. But maybe acting was one of his more, like, proper dreams, you know?
Ah, perfecto! It's simple and indeed natural. You only need to react to your colleagues' lines, and thus create a scene of unbearable dramatic tension. Our performance is quite simple. The main character just arrived in a remote town quite accidentally, and stumbled into a curious rehearsal in which his fate was to be decided. Who knows, perhaps he'll die at the end?
You can just say, I am ready. Just like, yes. I hope that's the case. It seems the performance has already started, and I'll be dragged in against my will. Is that all you have to say? Why do you stare like that? I see it in his eyes. His mind is looking for a line to mumble. I say we start the scene with a backhand across your face. I love that. I say, again, he is no leading man. He is unfit to even play a villain. At best a background player, a body, standing there to fill the stage. It's the step healer's son who ought to take his role, or that young girl who crawled out of her grave. They have such pathos and such verve. What does this one have? A coat? Is this rehearsal starting already, or is he just casually insulting me? Wonderful! The hero is lost! He no longer sees the boundary between the life and the play, perhaps speaking and reading his lines. Between? Where did I read perhaps? Jesus Christ. Keep going! This is the beating heart of our play, the blur between reality and fiction. Let me read the script. So the main character, a doctor, a skeptic, encounters an unknown for the first time. He built his whole life around empiricism and scientific inquiry. What will he do when death addresses him directly? But this isn't literal, right? A hero in a play speaking to death or the dead is usually a metaphor, an illustration of his thought process. See, this is interesting because it's like Daniel does in fact have like a level of like proper interest in theatre to the point where he can like speak on tropes and theatrical techniques, you know? Well, if that makes it easier for you, we could say it's a metaphor. Play it ambiguously, leave the audience guessing. But wait, I don't want to be a metaphor. I was promised I'd be the true voice of the dead. What kind of spoil sport ruins a play like this? I told you he couldn't hack it. That's it, I'm out. Metaphor. I'm confused. Are we still acting or is he actually offended? Of course we're acting! You have aptly grasped the key to this play. It's all a game. You are free to go, but remember, the game doesn't end until I say so. But Mr. Director, are you certain we've chosen the right protagonist? The rules of the drama clearly state the hero must experience death and resurrection, yet he's stuck in the prologue. That's because it's a demo. Hear that? You're being reprimanded for letting... Jesus Christ. You're being reprimanded for letting the pace of the narrative slip. Not my opinion, you understand, but the audience's attention is starting to flag. Well then, go on and prove we weren't mistaken about you. Not sure how I like you keep bringing up about the fact that the protagonist is dying at the end. That's not exactly... I can't read, Jesus Christ. One day I'll learn to read, wouldn't that be good? Is there anything else to do around here? Hey guys, how's it going? Have you guys seen the new Frankenstein yet? Del Toro. It was pretty good. I think you'd like it especially. You look like a guy who would like Del Toro's work. Oh, it's the steps. What was that? Oh yeah, we can break the mirrors. That's
Why
good
so
for
cheery, Dankovsky?
What did he say? Why so cheery, Dankovsky? I didn't think it was. Should we give all these boys the voice that we did before? If you could travel through time, would you go to the future or the past? See, 10 years ago, does that mean like World War I was 10 years ago? Is that what we're supposed to be getting from this? A future so distant that not even someone with my vivid imagination could fathom it. That's so funny. Even with my imagination, even with my galaxy-brained imagination. He's so egotistic. It's so funny. Grandpa Simon used to say that days are like hopscotch. Usually they go one after the other, but sometimes there's two side by side, and sometimes you have to jump backwards. Did you steal my microscope, that device with the shiny tube? I did, yeah, but I gave it to Phil. He's over there on the stairway. How do those stairs stand up without support? They stand like the polyhedron does. You keep bringing up this polyhedron. Well, whatever sort of creature it is, it can wait until later. Oh, I forget. Is this where the guy appears in the sky? The sky guy? Or do we do this first? See, this outfit that this kid wears, right? It looks much more modern than a lot of the others, you know? It feels like something that would be in, like, a 90s cartoon, maybe? Like Rugrats or something like that. I don't know if Rugrats is the one I'm actually thinking of. But you know what I mean? Like, it looks much more modern. Anyway. These dog heads are so funny, man. What voice should we give? A dog voice? Like, Will, what is it? Can you see the future? Let me look too. Gimme, gimme. That's probably too annoying.
Wait your turn, Pipsqueak. Let me just take one look and then I'll give it back. Ooh, there's a bunch of bugs and little hairs.
I don't like the look of that. Oh, I don't like the look of this feature. Wait, this kid's called Lieutenant? I guess he has like a posh voice then. Why are you using your dog's eye to look? You're not an animal, you know.
Yeah, but an animal might see further though.
Oh wait, this is Phil. That's the one that I get. I'm giving up on these kids' voices.
Good news, the microscope has been found. Bad news, it's being mauled by a pack of wild dogs. Oh, the horror.
Oh hey, it's you! Hey, your thingamajig's busted. It doesn't show anything. Just some bugs and weird little hairs. Maybe that is the future. Like, many, many years. Nothing will remain of us. Like, in many, many years, nothing will remain of us. But bugs and hair? It's very sad if you think about it. What makes you think it shows the future? See all these different pieces of glass inside? It shows the future even when you're looking through it. Oh my god, I can't read. When you're looking through it, everyone knows that. These voices, I've forgotten all of them. Grandpa Simon loved making all sorts of things with glass. I've only seen thingamajigs like this at his place. Why did you steal it from Grandpa Simon, you bastard? That's why we stole it back from him. From you. It's called justice. That's my microscope. I bought it from the capital. I brought it with me from the capital. And you stole it from my luggage. That's called theft. What? You don't know, mister?
He doesn't know.
Spit it out, you monster. Where did you get this thingamajig from? What did you do to Simon? It was you, wasn't it? Wasn't it? This conversation is making me realise why I never became a father. I wonder, how much Dankovsky has thought about becoming a father, like, in general. Because quite often, I swear, he mentions, like, similar things like, oh, I can't deal with kids, or things like that, I guess it must be really hard, especially if you have some sort of, like, thing like he does, like bipolar or something else that causes mania or other, symptoms. That's got to be really hard, especially, if you're looking after children at the same time. So I do wonder how he would be as a father. That's not to say that having conditions like that would inherently make you a bad parent, but it's got to be a struggle. And I wonder how he feels about that, because he's clearly like aware of the fact that he deals with these symptoms. So I wonder if that has like factored into his thought about why he's never wanted kids. Just give back the thingamajig and let him go on his merry way. It's broken anyhow. Can't see the future at all. No. Grandpa Simon taught us what doesn't take effort doesn't deserve effort. If we just give him back the thingamajig, there's no effort in that. I have a pocket watch on a chain, and it definitely shows the future. Let's make a deal.
Come on, let's see it. Oh, nice. And how does it show the future?
I know I'm changing their voices. I cannot keep track of these. With this, you will always know what time it is. So you know what time it will be in an hour, or 2, or even 3, which means it shows you the future. Oh, you're clever, mister. All right, give us your watch. But show us how your thingamajig works, will you? We're still curious. First, the trade. The watch for the the microscope. Then I'll show you. Okay. That's interesting that you hold down E to trade now. To trade an item, I need to put it into the barter slot. Yeah, I'm sure we can figure this out. So if you give me that, that's 3. And then the pocket watch is also 3. Nice. Oh, another flashback. I am getting kind of exhausted, but we still have quite a lot of the game to go, I think. I know there is a part 1 and part 2 section to this demo, so I'm thinking maybe we'll stop after the first part, but we'll see.
It's not love of living that drives us to overcome death.
Okay, Seraphima. That's such a pretty name. I love that name. Please hold on a little longer. Even after the inhalation therapy, the swelling won't go down immediately. Chief, finally, where have you been? The woman you rescued from the morgue is conscious, but she might not stay that way. She's still very weak. Was that a good impression of the voice she just did? I don't know. Probably not. It's amazing she's still standing with all the amount of gas she inhaled. The burden of leadership. You owe something to everyone, and everyone will find you at fault. It's good to see you too, Seraphima. I'm not going to say that. That's such an arsehole thing to say, man. But it's interesting that that's how he sort of thinks of his role, you know? Step aside with me for a moment, Chief. I checked the morgue records. The body matching her description was declared dead last night. Could be a coroner's oversight or a bureaucratic error. People make mistakes all the time, like when you mispronounce things when you're hella dyslexic. This doesn't prove anything. I'm not claiming it does, but imagine for a second. No, let's stick to the facts. I spoke to the orderly on duty last night. He also claimed the subject showed no signs of life, and Clayton himself was there when she woke up. When I reached this woman through poisonous fog, she herself insisted that she had died. It's not proof, but she must have some reason to think it. We can't miss this opportunity. Unfortunately, the subject is having trouble speaking. All that time in the gas has weakened her voice. I've rinsed her mucous membranes and performed inhalation therapy, but we can't conduct an extensive interview. Shame. A first-hand account could point us in the right direction. There's always a physical examination, or taking a sample, or an examination of her personal belongings. She came into the morgue with those items, though I haven't had a chance to go through them myself. I left them on the table by the back entrance. Will you take a look, Chief? Perhaps there's a clue. Ma'am, would you allow us to examine your things? Okay. Hello, do you remember me? Bachelor of Medicine, Daniel Dankowski, head of the Phonetica Laboratory. Last night I saved you from that serious gas leak. The man with death's eyes. My eyes were affected by the gas, just like yours were, but at least you remember something. That's so, hypocritical. Let's not wax poetic. Dankowski are always waxing poetic. I died. Tunnel after tunnel. Please remain calm. Before we can be sure of anything, I need to examine you. Okay, this is my first time interacting with this whole thing, so it's going to be interesting. Pale and gaunt, looks exhausted. I should take a look at her blood sample. The skin here is seriously damaged. I suspect it's due to her contact with the gas. Likely the same for her red eyes and mucosal burns. Okay, use this to rotate the camera. That's interesting. I don't know why that's interesting. The skin here is seriously damaged. I suspect it's due to her contact with the gas. Likely the same for her red eyes and... Oh, did we already read that? Okay. Oh, that is very low loincloth or whatever on there. I guess it's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, probably, maybe. I don't know. How low is it on the men's character models? That would be interesting to see the difference. Bruising from repeated injections. The consequences of attempted resurrection. One day I'll learn to read, wouldn't that be good? I've already said that. Legs. Bruising, redness, a rough injection? Seems like she's had an allergic reaction. Oh yeah, that does look like an allergic reaction. Breathing is a bit easier, but it's still I'm so sorry. Rest, I haven't looked through your things yet. Seraphima, where did you say they were? On the table by the back entrance? Right, let's have a look around. I love how Dankowski is able to, have his butterfly art here. It's such a nice decoration, and, I mean, obviously I'm not a fan of, pinning live ones. I think that's very cruel, but it seems like, he sort of keeps them as pets, and then presumably after they die he pins them, which is fine, I think. It's such a nice detail, the way he just keeps these bugs. I wonder if the butterflies are relevant to his research, the way that he's got them up here with all the equations and on the floor. Like, what is it about butterflies that might suggest something about immortality? Is it maybe the chrysalis type situation? Are Lazarus's personal effects from the morgue? Papers, they look official. Consent form from the experimental treatment in our institute. That's interesting that they have to waive all, responsibility or whatever. It says something about the type of research they're doing. Maybe is Denkowski doing, like, evil research? I mean, it's probably not evil, but, the fact that they have to waive all sense of, like, responsibility if anything goes wrong, presumably. Herbs, not a bouquet, looks medicinal. Self-medication with folk remedies? Morphine, tourniquet, however you want to pronounce it. Suffered from severe pain? 2 rings, obviously a pair. One would be too big for her. The way he just automatically assumes that she had a husband who was like an ass. I don't know. What does that say about him? I might understand more if I take a blood sample from the subject. Oh yeah, we've got to learn how to do the whole blood examination, don't we? I hope your blood test will tell us something. Okay, useful tool. I can study collected samples under the microscope. To perform the test, I need reagents. The doctor themselves is in charge of their supply. Okay, by adjusting WS, I need to find red bacteria in the sample. Scroll to adjust the focus. It will allow me to see the bacteria better. The lifespan of a culture is limited. I must act quickly. A dead sample is useless. Okay. Oh. Wait. I had it, I swear, for a second. Aren't we supposed to look at it, like, for a certain amount of time or something? Ooh. Is this not the red bacteria? Oh, there we go. Okay. Unidentified pathogen has been found. Do we need to tell Seraphima about it, or what? What do we do now? Together with the examination and test, the picture is more or less complete. Our miraculously resurrected woman has late-stage leukemia and injection marks on her body. See, I think I've seen people select different ones, but I don't know which one, like whether there's a correct one or if we're just supposed to, like, make a guess. It seems sort of mean to assume that it's, like, an addiction and also that it would be a suicide attempt. Like, there's not really enough to go on based on that, right? I mean, presumably since she signed the thingy, then it's a reaction to an experimental drug, right? Oh, and she had the allergy marks. Okay.
If we have the right conditions. Our current ones are only good for inventing penicillin. It's mold all the way down.
Penicillin? So, Chief, have you shed any light on the case? I'm loath to jump to conclusions, but could the Netiker have discovered some genuine phenomena? She was in a trial for a new drug. I'm not sure if our colleagues will disclose their experiment, but I put money on anaphylaxis, an acute allergic reaction, and you end up in the morgue. I suppose so, but how do we explain the most astonishing part, the resurrection? Why did a gas leak revive the subject? Did you see the bruising from intravenous injection? I bet it was adrenaline. Someone tried to restart her heart, but the dose was too small. When the gas leaked, the body released the adrenaline. It was missing. Do you think it was a mistake? The subject ended up in the morgue due to negligence? She wasn't actually dead yet, and by coincidence, an unaccounted for factor revived her? I'm afraid so. I admit I was hopeful as well. But no, once again, no breakthrough for Fanatica. That is interesting that he mentions, like, adrenaline being used as an emergency tool. Like, are they implying that Dankovsky invented the EpiPen in this universe? What voice did we give this guy? The posh one? So, that means she wasn't dead after all? The woman who supposedly came back to life? Alas. Then what's your microscope even for? Doesn't show the future, doesn't raise the dead. It's just a toy, really. That's quite the bar you've set your expectations, young man. A breakthrough can't happen in one single movement. It takes a sustained effort. Every step feels small at first, but we'll learn to resurrect the dead one day. Alright, if we can't see the future in the glass, then we're off. We've got important things to do after all. As do I. I'll leave things to my temporary lodgings, then head up to the Crucible to see Simon. Oh, I missed, wherever Ava was. Oh. Does anything happen if we climb up here, or is this just... Oh yeah, there's the big guy. Big guy in the sky. Big sky guy. Love that.
Folders, sticks, whips and wicks, but no coins. Give them a miss.
What? Okay, this guy looks like he should have sort of a nasally voice, doesn't he? I mean, I heard the voice that he did just now, but, like, I don't know how I'm supposed to, like, imitate that. Why are you drowning me in details, bachelor? Street kids stealing your microscope, an amusing anecdote, but it's not the crime we sat down to discuss 2 hours ago. 2 hours and 15 minutes ago, to be exact. Focus. I'm only interested on what's important. How am I supposed to know, Inspector, what you deem important and what you don't? You know what I especially dislike? When an obviously intelligent man feigns foolishness to derail an investigation. I'm offended and embarrassed for you. We both know you're not a fool, so stop wasting my time and your own. I just wanted to recount everything in order from beginning to end. The beginning doesn't interest me. My concern is the ending, the result, the finale. As for your backstory, your genesis, all of that is in the case file. Shall we review it? Yes, I'm quite curious to see what it contains. I think Dankovsky would be interested to see what people have been writing about him. Let's see, where was it? Ah, yes, the ministerial inspection of your lab, Thanatica, began in early September. Your presence was required at all times. Instead, you dashed off across the country to a backwater town to bring back what might be described as clear evidence that Thanatica's work had potential. I did not flee. Let's set your fantasies aside for a moment. The important part is that you fled from the investigation. And this town had an outbreak of some fever the scientific community had no knowledge of. As luck would have it, you were the only medical profession on site. Accurate so far? I didn't flee. Proof of human immortality was the only chance to save Thanatica. I think most people have said this one, actually. Well, not inaccurate, but the devil's in the details. You appear to be setting a trap. On the third day, the town's leaders gathered in the town hall to form an emergency command to fight the epidemic. And what was Daniel Dankovsky, who was, I repeat, the only qualified specialist in town doing that day? What's that? Your lip is trembling. Did I unsettle you? Your tricks won't work on me. Oh, you're right to feel ashamed. Instead of fulfilling your Hippocratic oath and leading the fight against the plague, you were engaged in what? Come on, don't look at the table. My eyes are up here. I'm not looking down out of shame. I'm simply amazed at your informant's sloppy work. Of course he would say that. Love that. Deflecting. Love that. On the fourth day, the town lost its water supply. They required a hospital, but the only person who could set it up was... What was he doing? Tell me, Dankovsky, where did you spend the fourth and fifth days? In a jail cell. That's what your papers say, right? Come the evening of the fourth day, the doctor from the capital attempts to flee the dying town on a cargo train like a rat. He is caught and jailed, and there he remains as the plague ravages the town. I admit I find even the act of reading about it repugnant. I won't lie, I considered escape. Escape, not flight. Thanatica was in the process of being destroyed back in the capital. You considered escape to avoid facing a painful truth. When I came to town, I found that Simon Kane, the immortal man who I'd pinned all of my hopes on, was dead. He died under mysterious circumstances a few hours before my arrival. Here he is, Daniel Dankovsky. Look at his lovely face. I love how they gave him like the emo fringe this time. It's brilliant. And look how long his eyelashes are. Also, the thing that I always think is interesting about Dankovsky is he's such a grumpy man, and yet he doesn't have like a resting bitch face. Jesus Christ, a resting bitch face. You know, his natural expression is, you know, slightly upturned. You know, it's like almost a smile sometimes, which I think is interesting. You know, so then we're responding as the inspector. When the epidemic began, you could save others, but you're a doctor, you swore an oath. Why did you abandon the ordinary townsfolk? As Simon Kane's nature, the mystery of his immortality and death, that's the most important thing that happened in this little town, and to me. But I can't just relay it to you. To understand, one must immerse themselves in the details and take in the full picture. Simon Kane's death is the primary concern, not the deaths of tens of thousands, but one fantastical old man. My, Bachelor, my. No, you're twisting it. You're rewriting the past. Where did I lie exactly? Point it out. Everywhere. About the emergency command, the escape, the hospital. The only thing you got right was the reason I came to the town in the first place. Then tell me your version of events. How did it all happen? No tricks. Leave aside your stories of children and microscopes. I'm tired of repeating myself. I'm interested in the ending, not the beginning. Do you also read books backwards? I love that. It's so sassy. You will recount everything in whatever order I tell you. On the 6th day, the plague destroyed the town. So if you would be so kind, explain to me, what were you doing on the 5th day? Were you really so indifferent to the plights of the people around you? The 5th day, let me think. Okay, this is the first half, the ending. I'm wondering if we should leave it here because I am getting quite tired, and then we'll record the second part as another stream. I know that's probably a bit annoying, but my voice is getting croaky from talking and my feet are going numb from sitting in this chair in the same position for so long. So on that note, I think we will leave it there. So thank you guys for watching, and let me know if you're watching this on YouTube. Let me know if you have any thoughts on anything that I've said, and yeah, I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow.